What's up,
Fight. And we are live. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto episode 1292. I forgot the rest of what I was going to say. I'm too hyped. Today is Friday, February 7th, 2025, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m.-ish. And today's top stories: Trump media files for True.5 Bitcoin Plus ETF. SEC acknowledges grayscale Solana ETF filing and notable step. Woo, you all don't know how big that headline actually is. Kentucky grows growing list of U.S. states to introduce Bitcoin reserve bill. Missouri bill proposes Bitcoin reserve fund for state investments, and Winklevoss brothers Mull IPO for Gemini crypto exchange is being reported. And of course, today is FBF, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that link in the chat. If I got something wrong this week, if you want to show your favorite coin, or you just want to come pop some hot stuff, now is the time. Don't leave me a message, don't email me, don't tweet me. Just call in live with your camera on and pop your twin. Ain't that what the young ones say these days? All right, other than that, let's get to these motherfucking prices. All right. Bitcoin is looking beautiful per normal. I mean, what else is there to expect? I mean, we're talking 100K Bitcoin, folks. 99,600 and we just went to 98 that quick. Literally was at 99. $98,622, up 0.82%. Ethereum is at $2,753, up 0.08%. Ripple, $2.50, up 5.37 on the news of the day. Number 5, Solana, $201, up 3.01%. Number 6, BNB, $586, up 1%. 8, Dogecoin, 25 cents, up 0.67%. Cardano at 9, 73 cents, up 1.15%. And Tron at 10, at 23 cents, up 1.12%. Fear and Greed Index is about the same at a 35. Bitcoin dominance actually bolstered up a few smaller percentage, fractional percentage points at 60.71. Again, increasingly creeping. And like I said, Ethereum's at 10.3, increasingly going down. Now, once Bitcoin hits its full bull cycle this year that we're all hoping and expecting as well. Of course, this market's crazy. You never know what can happen next. But once it hits its anticipated bull cycle, you should see that Bitcoin dominance decrease and the altcoin dominance kind of go up, including Ethereum as well. And that's only because everybody, not everybody, but many people are going to be pivoting their capital over from their Bitcoin portfolios to their altcoin portfolios, trying to make that extra buck to buy the additional Bitcoin, right? So when that happens, you'll see Bitcoin dominance probably slide. This time you might actually see a chunk of it slide. I think 2, 3 to 4%, only because some of these altcoin plays are that exciting for folks. But after that kind of settles down, we'll see this go back up, I think, not only to 60, but maybe up to 62, 63%, because we'll be talking about 150K Bitcoin. Like, you talk about store of value for wealthy individuals, institutional individuals, they'll start making that play officially. They're waiting too. They're like, hey, 50K, 100K isn't enough for me to trust this thing, right? Like that's how much money some people have. They're like, no, I need to make sure each one of these bad boys are worth $250,000 before I, it piques my interest. So you're going to have that crew come in late as well, which will bolster the percentage of Bitcoin holders or dominance in regards to these other altcoins as well. But again, expect to see Ethereum continue to drop unless this new upgrade they have coming up here in a couple months actually changes the gas fees. That's what we're all waiting on. Will the gas fees be fixed? If that were to happen, then yes, Ethereum dominance could continue pumping. I would even expect to see it go as high as 13%, right? But if they don't fix that issue and it's the same Ethereum here in the next few months, expect that dominance to continue to decrease before other I can't talk. Other market participants take over, which we will be talking about today, since of course Solana is in the news. All right, other than that, let me give some quick shout outs before we get this show rolling. While I'm doing that as well, let me go ahead and post this link in the chat. Like I said, feel free to call in, get off what you need to get off. Let the world know how you're feeling. Show your favorite shit token while I smile and act like it has a chance at life, even though it probably won't. No, you all been having some good ones lately, though, so who knows? But we'll see what happens. Oh, no. Super Mario starting it off. Super Mario starting off FBF talking about some ain't no bull cycle. Oh, no, Super Mario, say it ain't so. Honestly, it might not be, though. We just literally had one, 60K to 100. So we'll see if we get the second one. Chloe Dior, Hidden Gangster, 5150, Gamer Johnson, what up, though? Only Bitcoin, Patrick Walter, Jerome Jones, JB, Junior Maley, D No ID, St. James, Hyben, Memories of Mike, Kaniz, Alapio, good morning, everyone. Kashan, good morning, everyone. Kevin Cummins, Jake Fever, what up? Welcome to the chat, everybody. Again, feel free to call me. You want, no big deal. If not, let's get this show on the road. Top story of the day. Top stories of the year is going to just be Trump in every headline. My man said, I know how to stay in the media, and he's not joking. Essentially, his game plan, if you all haven't noticed the strategy already, which I will be honest, not only does this type of strategy work and is actually suggested in a lot of books on history as far as taking and controlling power. For example, violence. Violence. I'll just say it there. When you're committing violence, when you're in a country, you're taking over a country or a new organization, or whatever, you're supposed to do it all at one time. You're not supposed to drag it out for 12 months, 14. Like, you're not supposed to, oh, we're going to harm someone new every week or every other week or every month. Like, no, that tires down a population. You're supposed to do it all at one time. So if it's thousands or millions or whatever that number is, get it all done at once so they can feel all that pain and get all the anger out. If they want to riot or go crazy or fight back. All of that can happen at one time. And then as soon as that's over and the smoke clears, who's ever left is the victor. That is essentially Trump's administration strategic plan right now, if you haven't noticed. That is front loading us with just everything. Yeah, I'm gonna do everything I want. I'm throwing it all at y'all. Whatever sticks, stick. Whoever doesn't, doesn't. Whatever comes back, comes back. I'm saying that because in regards to Bitcoin and crypto, he's taking the same approach. We're seeing meme coins from him and his wife. We're seeing crypto czars, crypto task force, Bitcoin reserves starting to talk up. The talks are popping up. Stable coin stuff. Like, literally, this is a lot happening all at one time. These are moments we've waited for. Again, you make your 80% of your money, 20% excuse me, you make 80% of your money, 20% of the time. This is at 20% of the time. I'm acknowledging that because when I saw this story where it's talking about let's see, Trump media files for Truth.5 Bitcoin plus ETF, it's just like, holy smokes, this guy's throwing, like, they're trying to come after him for the meme coins. He's throwing this at them too. Some of this stuff he's doing with Bitcoin and crypto is going to stick. And this looks like it may be one of the things. Truth Media is giving investors the opportunity to capitalize on MAGA's campaign promises, which include U.S. energy independence, manufacturing growth, and Bitcoin adoption. And really quick, I want to be clear. And this is why I say I'm not on either side and they're all the same. I'm about to show you how exactly the same all of these people are. I wasn't even supposed to premiere this story. Let me see. What's his name? What's old Biden name? All right, here it is. This is a few days ago. Former President Joe Biden signs with Hollywood talent agency CAA. My man's got a better talent agency than me, and he's been in Hollywood 5 minutes. This is our president, okay? I'm not even going to say nothing. We're going to leave it alone, but it is what it is. Man just signed with a talent agency after being the president. To me, it's like that is the most, like, it's just ridiculous. But going back to the story, the same thing with Trump. So it's like they're doing the exact same thing. The only difference is that he's creating his own talent agency instead of signing with someone this time. But to me, these stories are the same. So getting back to Trump, Truth.5 Media, it looks like his technology group, Trump Media and Technology Group, TMTG, intends to launch exchange traded funds in separate managed accounts, SMAs, tied to his True Social platform, which includes investment strategies related to Bitcoin. So this would be a roundabout way of getting more people involved in crypto. And honestly, I think this is like a personalized derivative, right? You talk about futures, ETFs, ETPs, and all this other stuff. This is like your own personal derivative that you can get people to back. Long term, just like Biden's CAA thing, I don't see it being like the future or anything like that. Hold on, I just locked myself out my laptop by mistake, so I'm just going to talk myself through it. Boom. Hopefully that didn't mess up the talk. I just locked myself out. I'll do that sometimes. I got a quick. Hey, they're not gonna Ross Aubrey me. I got a quick lock setting on my laptop where, listen, I'm not gonna say where or how, but you, I can't even make a mistake on my laptop without locking up. All right, that's how I got my laptop. I can't make a mistake without it locking up. It just locked up on me that quick. So yeah, I got this quick lock feature. Shout out to MacBook, man. Look, they like, look, if you break into one of these, you're supposed to get what you're gonna get. They're not gonna Ross Aubrey me. But going back to this story, TMTG, majority owned by President Trump. Like I said, this sounds like a personalized ETF for me, for him and what he's trying to do in his crypto thing. Like Biden's CAA thing, I don't think any of these are going to be long term or for forever or even really work, right? Like, honestly, how much longer does Biden have to give speeches and talk? A and B, how much interest do people have? Even though of course, he was American president, super powerful, da da da. I mean, a lot's changed. Like a lot. Well, this is how you become president of the United States. Like, I don't know, a lot's changed. So I don't see that lasting long. And the same with this Truth.fi ETF. It's like, all right, they're doing real ETFs for different Bitcoin and crypto assets. I don't see this competing with that long term. But again, both of these things seem like fads. Truth.fi, it seems like a fad, where at the very least, he'll have his hardcore supporters backing him in these projects. So, like I said, this to me seems like a personalized ETF. Honestly, you want to know this really is, and this was crazy. This is a DAO. This is a DAO happening right in front of our eyes. We're calling it all these different things. Trump meme coin, his ETF. He's essentially creating himself a DAO for him and his supporters. And there's different ways to enter this DAO and then be invested. But if you put all these different pieces of the puzzle together, it's like, bro, you got a big DAO. For those who don't know, decentralized autonomous organization, or so they kind of say. But that's essentially to me what they're trying to create, except this super centralized, clearly. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's happening. The trademarks include Truth.fi Made in America ETF, Truth.fi Made in America SMA, Truth.fi US Energy Independence ETF, and so on and so forth. There's a Truth.fi Bitcoin Plus ETF and Truth.fi Bitcoin Plus SMA. So that is going to be crazy. It looks like this is going to be happening. Truth social platform and Truth Plus video streaming service. If this blows up to be one of the first like or bigger social media apps, that'd be kind of crazy. And yeah, this strategy includes exploring a range of ways to differentiate our products, including strategies related to Bitcoin, said Nunes. The proposed Truth.fi funds include an initial investment of up to $250 million to be custodied by Charles Schwab, the announcement said. So this is happening. This is kind of crazy, but I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think this is something to invest in? I will say in the short term, it kind of makes sense only because you're essentially investing in the person pushing the product. So as an investment, and let me be clear, this isn't for crypto or Bitcoin investors. This to me is more appealing to traditional investors, the ones who are on the sideline, who's not really into crypto and Bitcoin, but they just believe he has a plan, which is why I said it's like a DAO. It's like an ICO essentially. They're calling it an ETF, but this is essentially an ICO formally or informally creating a DAO. That's what this looks like to me. He's trying to ICO an ideal. So whatever, we've seen this happen in the past. I think we'll see this happen in the future as well, where we'll see other companies or individuals. You all have said this about this show a lot. You're like, when are we gonna get a TGOC coin or whatever? Like, to me, this would be the universe it would exist in, whereas it's like it's not more or less will be a meme coin, just like I'm hoping this ETF isn't like meme-ish. It seems more like I said, it's more like an ICO. It's like a project-based thing where it's just like, hey, these are our goals. We need money invested to do these goals. And once we accomplish these goals, you'll have a stake. Except they're not writing it up like that, because then, of course, the SEC would be like, well, that's a security, or at least the old SEC would, right? So you don't write it up like that because it sounds like it's a security, because you're saying it's an investment vehicle. Instead, he's just saying this is a way to get exposure to our campaign promises. Exposure, as in make money as an investment to your campaign promises as the investment vehicle. So it's the same thing. But we'll see what happens. Regardless, I do consider this, which is why I'm covering it, a base hit to crypto, right? If people get interested in this and they're saying, all right, well, let me look at his Trump.5 ETF. And he's supposed to be doing some things with Bitcoin or something, and I don't know. And then you start seeing, you'll start paying attention. This is one of those things where it's like, now that you're invested, you'll start paying attention. You wake up one morning and there's a headline, Bitcoin's doing this, or Trump.fi is doing this, or crypto's doing that. Now they're going to pay attention and be like, all right, whoa, I'm in that Trump.fi. Wait, what is Bitcoin? Am I making money off it? And then, but wait, why am I not making money off it? It's like, because you're actually not in Bitcoin. They're like, well, let me get into Bitcoin. So to me, this is a base hit to the home run of Bitcoin. Hopefully, it is what it is. It's not like this whole thing where we're going to go back and forth about how we feel about these different things happening, because the bottom line is that they're happening. They're happening at a fast rate right now. And if we get into our feelings, we'll miss the next thing happening. So let's stay out our feelings and stay in our portfolio and figure out how we can make this thing capitalize for us. So, like I said, when it comes to the analysis of this is all good as far as on the Bitcoin and crypto front, because my man's is establishing his own personalized ETF for it, essentially, or at least using Bitcoin as the advertising structure of it. So to me, that's a positive thing for our short-term future. And then for those who are or who enjoy investing in different things related to the market, so it's not super direct and you have, opportunities to still make capital outside of the hard asset, this is one of those things where it's for you, right? If you're looking at futures, if you're looking at what's the other stuff? The ETFs and ETPs, then why not? Right? Like literally, this isn't any better or worse of a product than the rest of those products. And by the way, speaking of products, I'm saying products now with an S. It is happening. We have been derivative. This market is a real market. And yes, the institutions definitely help bolster the price to where it's at. Good, bad, or ugly. It is what it is. All right. Speaking of the folks in high places, the SEC acknowledges Grayscale Solana ETF filing a notable step. All right, so here's the thing. I haven't even read the sub hitting yet. I haven't read this story, but like you all need to understand how big of a headline this is. I would say just years ago, but just months ago, right? And I want to say months ago, until the last year when the ETFs happened and everything. Essentially, BlackRock came in and bullied our government. I wonder who's behind them for real. But when they came in and bullied our government into giving them and everyone else a Bitcoin ETF, before that time happened, before they came in and started the bully tactics, the SEC was legitimately not even looking at applications for ETFs, for different types of ICOs, for people going like they weren't looking at applications, period. And when I mean not looking at applications, I hear nowadays, last 2 or 3 years, at the very least, I hear the paperwork got stacked up. But before the last 2 or 3 years, I heard they were literally throwing away any type of offer they got. So if King were to say, "Hey, I want to do a Bitcoin ETF," it would have got to their office. And remember, these are people getting paid by taxpayers. These are public positions. It would have got to their office, and instead of working for the taxpayer, the American citizen, they would have balled that up and said, "What military service? Who cares?" and threw it in the trash. That is what they were doing 2016, 2017, and 2018, and kind of some of 2019. It really wasn't until 2020, 2021 when some of these companies started asking and getting their lawyers involved. Remember now, like this is a big thing, right? We just ended the bear market. This is like, I would say the second super notable bull market. Of course, there was some back in 2014, things before that, but really the 2017 and the 2020, 2021 bull markets are what put this on the map, really. And even 2017, not really. 2021, where you had the NFTs and all this other stuff, is what put this on the map. So, this is when a lot of people started saying, and a lot of companies started saying, we're not beating the government. They've been doing dirty stuff to us the last 3 or 4 years. Now it's time to go to litigation, or at least start doing these FOIA requests and figuring out what's up. And that's when the SEC and everyone started saying, whoa, whoa, we can't throw this away no more because what we're doing is illegal and they'll find out about it. And oh, by the way, the reason why I know, which I wouldn't dox the person, because of course, like it wouldn't work out for me, but a very high power lawyer, I've told this story before, a very high power lawyer who himself and their firm, who works with some of the biggest companies, Democratic National Party president, everybody out there who's working for one of these companies, as essentially a favor because another company has screwed me, Bittrex, over the hack, uh, gave me some information about what was going on at the SEC. And this is verbatim what he was telling me was going on. He was like, you don't even get it. Because at the time, this was at the time I was trying to do a hedge fund. For those who don't know, this is 2016-ish, way before there were even crypto hedge funds out there. And he was like, man, they are literally throwing away applications for hedge funds, for ETFs, all this stuff. He's like, they're not even literally holding these up. They're throwing them away. Again, it wasn't until 2020, 2021 where they started stacking the applications. I do this long story to say we are now in 2025 and the SEC is acknowledging an Solana ETF. It's not even a Bitcoin one. They're acknowledging the application that is in the office. They're reviewing it. People, they don't even need to say yes to it. If you know what you're doing as far as marketing, once again, this is enough to pump the price for those who are looking at these things as strictly investments and not technology, right? If you're looking at it as just an investment, this is how you start to pump the price. The SEC acknowledges it today. In 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now, they have to at least say something. It doesn't have to be good. Nope, this doesn't look good. The reason why XYZ, and Solana will come out saying, hey, the SEC gave us feedback. We got some positive things we need to work on. We have a new roadmap. These are the dates. And on each of those dates, you're going to see another pump, 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 pump. This is how you do it. Okay. These are the real tokenomics and marketing your token in this space. So this is good for the investors of Solana. A, and B, this is great for the overall crypto market for those who want to see these derivative products because yes, now that they're acknowledging Solana, like I said, let the show begin. Next, hey, you need to acknowledge my Dogecoin one. Hey, you need to acknowledge my Pepe one, my Dog What If one, my Farts one, my Stripper coin. You need to acknowledge them all now. It is official. You have to acknowledge them all. They were talking about 80,000 IRS agents. Folks, this is stop fighting Trump and go make a deal. Here's the deal right here. They're about to need 80,000 new SEC agents here in the next 3 to 5 years. Easy. They're going to need 80,000 SEC agents to keep up with the amount of requests and paperwork that's about to come through once the rest of the crypto market listens to shows like this. Because they're like, oh man, he right. Like, we could like what? We could flood them and they can't say no. The best thing they'll be able to do is say, hey, we're going to have to put everybody on a 90 to a 180-day wait to get any type of response to begin with. So that would slow it down for at least 2 to 3 years for them. Like I would expect those type of tactics back. This is the way it works. But on the surface right now, what they acknowledge there is a story. I'm gonna read into it, but this is a story, folks. They've never acknowledged these things. The first one they acknowledged was the one they pushed through, and that was the Bitcoin one. They haven't acknowledged these things publicly. I don't think you all understand how big of a move this is and where we are in the history of cryptocurrency and digital assets as a whole. This is an incredible day right now. I want you all to understand it. And once again, this is my point. It's days like this to where the price actually should be pumping. Like this is a value add. The price should be pumping right now. But people aren't looking at these little small things. They're looking at again when the announcement comes out, when Solana actually does their marketing thing, they'll see that. But it's like, no, this is what's important. The SEC is acknowledged they'll consider it. What like were you going to date with it with me? I'll think about it. Better than a no. I'll take that. All right. Let me know. Like, call me back in a week. We'll figure this out. Right. It's better than a no. Let's dive into the story. Is one more development reflecting a change in approach from the U.S. Securities and SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission toward crypto. I tried to shorten it as I was reading it. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has made a notable step toward approving spot Solana exchange traded funds in the U.S. after acknowledging Grayscale's amended application, what analysts say is the first for SOL ETFs. Like I said, I would say is a first for ETFs in general outside of Bitcoin, really. This is actually newsworthy because the SEC had refused to do this in recent filing attempts for SOL. Bloomberg ETFs analyst James Sieper said of Grayscale's February 6th amended filing essentially for a spot Solana ETF. Fellow analyst Eric Balchuna said it was a notable development, adding, we are now in new territory, albeit just a baby step, but seemingly the direct result of leadership change. Like they're calling it. I didn't read this article, folks. I'm telling you, like this is again, if they say by considering this, by acknowledging this, you have to acknowledge everything that comes in. You have to. There is no, because in a court of law right now, there is no legitimate reason you can say, yes, I acknowledge Solana's ETF, possible ETF, but no, I didn't acknowledge Dogecoins. With Elon to him, you're going to acknowledge Dogecoins just because of where Elon's at and you being scared to go against the government right now. And by you, I'm talking to the SEC. They're going to acknowledge Dogecoin when they knock on the door for that. And once you acknowledge that one, oh, what? From the tokenomics itself, you can't say no to any other project. You literally can't. The Dogecoin tokenomics are so terrible. You cannot say no to any other project that shows the slightest bit of thought toward their white paper and to their tokenomics. The SEC would, because every argument would be like, whoa. You said Dogecoin and ETFs okay with a billion plus tokens being created daily or whatever, but mine, which has like proof of work and everything else, is a no. Oh man, this is going to be the thing that pops the bubble. I want to be clear once again, because essentially what's going to happen is that someone is going to create a BS environment, right? A scam environment. They're going to create essentially a scam coin. They're going to create a scam ETF to go along with it, which will create a scam market to go with it. We'll have futures, we have margin trading, all this other stuff. And before you know, we're going to get toward the end of the tunnel. And that's even if this XYZ token by this time has an actual product, we'll get to the end of the cycle and be like, either this product is bad or this doesn't work, or all the customer information is missing, or the blockchain just disappeared everybody's money. Like there is going to be one of these instances just like that. And there's gonna be like, holy we got an ETF attached to this thing on, and we got like stock market attack. Like, oh my God, what are we doing? one domino will fall, especially if they put these crypto ETFs in the same basket as traditional ETFs. Oh man, you won't even know. Like they're going to point in every direction, and you won't be able to know who or what to blame. Wait, why did the housing market fail? Well, they were doing the crypto collateralized loans over there, but they were using XYZ coin, which wasn't actually a real coin. And then they were like selling it in a stable coin. But of course, the Fed owned that stable coin, and then they printed more dollars. Like, what? This is about to get parabolic, people. It's going to get crazy. But the good news is, before all that happens, all our coins are on a time 1000. So hopefully you're smart enough to exit stage left before this goes down, but it's definitely going to go down. So the SEC reportedly refused these spot Solana ETFs under Gizler watch because they believe they were incorrectly filed as commodity trust shares. Finance lawyer Scott Johnson explained. But the only thing you need to understand also with this, I won't say only thing, one of the things you need to understand with this is that um, Gensler was saying, well, they're filed incorrectly. They're supposed to be a commodity trust. The CFT were like, no, 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 they're filed incorrectly. They're supposed to be securities, they're investment products. So they were actually playing this game. Like I played this game before, the exact same way in the military. You get asked something like, maybe we're not ready to answer or whatever. It's just like, you need to consult the Department of Defense for that. Like you got to go to Pentagon for that specific answer. At my level, I can't answer that. The Pentagon gonna be like, he has release authority. Like him and his people are the ones on the ground. He can answer it. You need to speak to their unit. Like they'll send it right back to the unit. Send it back. Look, what? This is the Pentagon. I'm looking at the reporter. I'm not gonna talk to the Pentagon saying you can answer it. Listen, get the Pentagon on the phone in front of me and so we hear it. That's not going to happen, of course. And then this back and forth game gets played for a few weeks and months before they finally like, all right, this is the whole, hey, wait outside the club for 10 minutes. I'll let you know. 10 minutes goes by. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I got you, bro. Calm down. Give another 15 minutes. 15 minutes go down. Hey, man, this time we're not even looking at you. Hey, man. Hey, you forgot about me? Who? Huh? What do you want? I thought you was gonna let me in. Man, look, bro, you ain't got no girls down with you? Nah, you can't come in there. Why you ain't tell me earlier? Tell you what earlier? Like, this is the same game that's being played with the SEC or was being played with the SEC and CFTC. They were just ping ponging it back and forth. Where the SEC was like, "Oh no, you got to go to commodities to do that." Commodities like, "Well, we don't do that type of work over here." But let it be an enforcement action, right? Let it be money on the table from one of these crypto companies. Then the SEC would be raising their hand. Oh yeah, that's our money. Same with the CFTC. No, no, no. We're suing this company for that. If there was money on the table, they'd be quick to it. But when there's innovation on the table, they're slow, which is absolutely crazy because, again, to me, this is what I consider treasonous. Why would you not want to innovate these American markets? It makes absolutely zero sense. But that's the way of the world with some of these, or was the way of the world with some of these regulators. So this is great. What does it says? A new day, recall Gary. Oh, they call him recall Gary. Recall Gary would not acknowledge these previously on the basis they were incorrectly filed as commodity trust shares. But again, folks, this is crazy. Um, yeah, this is crazy. This is the story. We'll see what happens next. But no matter what, the next step is going to be positive because, again, they have now opened up a new can of worms by acknowledging this one ETF. And to keep it real, and to keep it all real, we are not ready for a Solana ETF. If it were up to me, we shouldn't have a Solana ETF. And Solana really, like, they deserve the talk of the town they're getting right now. They do deserve the buzz. I will say that. They deserve the buzz. They're doing a good job. But ETF, absolutely not. However, I don't think that matters. I think it's still going to get pushed through. And while I know Solana's excited about it, this will be the first time we're actually going to see if it gets pushed through. It may take a few months to a year or 2 years. But if it were to get pushed through, this will be one of the first time we're going to see a smaller market cap asset, which still has a huge market cap, but it's going to be smaller than what Bitcoin was when it got its ETF. So we'll get a chance to see what a smaller market cap asset can do once it gets an ETF or that institutional push, right? We'll get to see a lot. We'll get to see, are there retail investors? Because I think a Solana ETF would actually interest regular retail investors, whereas the Bitcoin ETF really didn't. That was just portfolios being moved that were already there, right? That was BlackRock saying, New York firefighters, California police, whatever, all these different union portfolios we own. We're rebalancing these ourselves. I think a Solana ETF would actually have people be like, no, 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 can I access this on my iPhone? Like, I want to get this myself. I think that will be the type of interest that I have. So I think it would have more interest. But again, I want to see what it's actually going to do to the price in terms of the underlying asset. Because while this they think is a good thing, or some people in crypto think is a good thing, they could front end the derivative side of the house and make a lot of cash money, but the actual asset doesn't do that great, right? Like let's say Solana goes up another 30%, 35, 40% from where it's at off of ETF. Like to me, it wouldn't even be really worth the ETF itself. The people in the ETF would be making more capital, in my opinion. So I don't know, but regardless, this is a good thing for crypto, as I call it, another base hit. Again, two more quick base hits. These really aren't stories to fully cover. The story is in the headline, and that's something I've been saying now the last few weeks. The states are signaling, and it looks like it is happening. At this point, I think we're at eight or nine states. I said a week ago, we need to get to about 8 or 9 states, 10 states, 12 states before this thing will be a big deal. Like we're almost there. We're almost at what, about 17% of the country now. Missouri bill proposes Bitcoin reserve fund for state investments. Again, story headlines in the story: Missouri wants next, and their neighbor. Well, did I say one state does it? Their neighbors are going to do it. Kentucky. Kentucky joins growing list of U.S. states to introduce Bitcoin reserve bill. So, boom, you got Kentucky and Missouri. Both are ready to get this thing cracking. So, we got Kentucky, Missouri, you got Utah, Alabama, Texas. I think that's 6 off the top of my head right there. And I believe I'm missing at least 1 or 2 more. So this thing is going to happen, folks. It is going to happen. Oh, never mind. They correct me here. This is the 16th US state to introduce legislation. So 16. Holy smokes. This is happening. This is happening. 16 states want this. And some of the states in that 16 are pretty powerful. Thinking about Texas off the top of my head, this thing is happening. Wow, I'm going to the comments, and you all, I mean, this is true. What do we get a hex ETF? But how can you say, I mean, listen, how can you say no to a hex ETF? If you talk about constituents, voters, people who are going to be knocking down the doors and calling up, like they will call these regulators to get that pushed through. Yeah, why not a hex ETF? I mean, it is what it is. Like, yeah, y'all know me. I will be objective as I don't know what. I'm not picking sides. I'm going to stay in the middle, and I'm going to say what's fair. They are right. You can't say yes to Solana and say no to Hex. That would be absolute. Oh my God. If we get a Hex ETF, we would never hear the end of Richard. Like legitimately, we would never, ever, 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 ever hear the end of Richard if we got a Hex ETF. But we also would be hearing this.
Everyone, listen up. You didn't lose your money. Now you have your technically you kind of lost your money.
Listen, that's going to be the end of all these bubbles once they pop. All right. And last but not least, I got to give a shout out to them, the Winklevoss brothers. Winklevoss brothers Mool IPO for Gemini Crypto Exchange is being reported. Now, here's the deal. You all know how I feel about IPOs and all this other stuff. My thing, especially from exchanges, the moment you do an IPO or even think about doing an IPO as an exchange, you're about to give up customer data and customer information, which I am strongly against. It's unfair. That's not how you made your money. That's not how you got or received your customer volume or customers in general. You got your customers. You, excuse me, got to the point you're at because you pushed this hard, especially I'm talking crypto specific. These folks, exchanges, they push this hard line, anti-government, decentralized, be your own bank. Like they were pushing these types of stances. So to go back and say, well, we're going to do IPO, we're going to yeah, we're going to share customer data with the government, all this other stuff, is like you're literally doing the opposite of how you got big. You wouldn't have got big if you told your people that from the beginning. So I'm strongly against these type of things. However, I will say if anyone deserves it and anyone deserves to exit gracefully, it is the Winklevoss twins. I think this is the best way for them to do it. Let's just check out a story. The Winklevoss brothers are reportedly considering another IPO for Gemini after deciding not to pursue a public listing in 2021. Let's see. They first eyed a listing in 2021. It didn't go through. They pushed back. It looks like Gemini is now thinking about it again. It was one thing I skimmed through this article earlier when I saw. It was one thing I saw. It doesn't probably look like I'm gonna get to it. I can't get to it. I can't remember what it was, but essentially they're saying, hey, we're looking at doing another IPO at the beginning of this year. My thoughts behind it were they do deserve it because they've been through so much in this space already. And then to think about it in 2021, uh, you not do it and then see how the market fell again in 2022 and all the BS and back and forth and lawsuits they had between then. And then, of course, they're going through it with Barry Silbert as far as who owes who billions of dollars that's supposed to be owed to the victims because of lending programs. It's just so much that's happened since 2021 to right now. I fully understand why they're like, hey, it's time for us to go public, for one. For two, I would say they should go public almost immediately. And I wouldn't even work there anymore. Like, you guys have done great. All right. You done great. Right. So to me, it's just like they've done a good job. They deserve to actually have a good IPO. I think Gemini would be a good actual stock to invest in. To me, they've done it the right way many years. My only like, and, here's the other thing. I was gonna say I won't even say my only fear, because it is what it is. I would say go public now, not only for yourselves to make money, but for also for customers like myself, who I know as soon, like, when you go public, not as soon as, because this administration I feel protected under. The next administration is going to look at that list of people that are your customers, including myself, and we're going to get that hammer thrown down on us. I already know that. I've been knowing that for years with them. After they did start to kind of start giving customer data, and then you had to fully sign up and all this other stuff. So I know it's going to come, which is why I'd rather have them do it now. I think if they go public right now, not only can they sell off into the sunset and be unbothered as far as regulation and who owes what taxes and this, that, and the other. I think the tax burden will be light, and any regulatory hurdles will be super light as well because of the administration. But I also think their customers, like myself, will be safe. I feel safe right now if they go public right now. I feel like in the next 4 years, the government will be like, whatever. It was Americans trying to be America. All right. They were trying to conquer new unexplored territory, make money, nothing illegal going on here as far as this isn't drug or cocaine money or nothing like that, right? This isn't money from violence. This is regular gotten gains that's already been paid taxes to, that these folks are trying to figure out a way. I think if they go public right now, that's the feedback the customers will receive. They were did it in 2021, which I think that's a part of the reason why they didn't do it, because they listen, 20, yeah, you can go public. Same way Coinbase did it. And I got an email from Coinbase and the government years ago. Coinbase is going public. They're like, yeah, we're gonna need that list though. We're gonna need that list. You are not doing a public offering in the United States while giving us that guest list. Coinbase gave them the list. So I think that's what stopped them initially in 2021, where they're like, wait, we can't give you our list, man. Because I'll tell you now, they will give them that list in 2021. Oh, that next conference and party, I'm tearing that shit up. We closing it early. We shutting that whole thing down early, okay? But right now, I think they even feel comfortable as stewards, as fiduciary stewards of so many people out there. I think they feel comfortable now, where it's just like, yeah, we can sell it now. We can sell it. It'll be an easy sell or an easy IPO, to where we won't need to give up all this information, do all these different moves, hoops. We can do an easy IPO if they want, which I suggest is that they get their money and leave. Like, just leave. Keep your stock options and leave. Do something different. I mean, when I'm trying to be a rock star or something, I think now he's like a terrible singer. But yeah, leave the market. And then for our sake, the people who are customers is like, woo, thank you, bro. You did this at the best time. Like, yes, do it right now. So I'm all for this IPO. I've never been for a crypto IPO like I am for this one, but I am for it. Let's do it. Let's get it out there. Whatever damage could be done, I'd rather damage happen under this administration right now. Not even this administration in 3 years. I want it to happen right now, where he got his Truth.fi ETF, a Trump meme coin, a Melania meme coin, uh, pardoning January 6th, folks. Launch it right now, okay? Launch it right now. Do not wait. Yes, 4 years of absolute degen. Please, if the Winklevoss twins are listening, somebody clip this and give it to them. Launch the IPO right now. Give up, because you're right. You know what? You will have to give up that customer data. You've made too much money. They'll politicize your exchange. You all kind of did this to yourself because you stayed in New York and you tried to do the right thing. They did try to do the right thing. I get it. It didn't work out because New York was like, nah, we want all your money plus your mama money. They was like, wait, what? We didn't know this was the deal. They was like, well, yeah, this is the deal. So that didn't work out because New York was a super gangster with them. But again, I think now's the time, Winklevoss twins. You deserve it. You earned it. You should do this IPO. You should be rewarded. And you should let your customers like myself sell off into the sunset also. Do the IPO, destroy the customer data, start fresh. In fact, after the IPO, say nobody customer accounts working anymore. Y'all got to relog in if y'all want to come back. All right. Other than that, that is the show for the day. Make sure you smash that like and share. We didn't get any comments, I don't think, or any calls. I'm looking for comments right now. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Bitcoin is at 100K. Trump's Wild Wild West, and Ethereum can't hit 5K. What are we doing here, Vitality? That's what I'm saying. Listen, I don't hear nothing else about Ethereum right now. Ethereum, and you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. All right, you're just not. I gotta get that as a soundbite as well. All right. Other than that, folks, like I said, that's the show for today. Smash a like and share. I will see you all next week.